everybody, we are learning to Excel, and this video tutorial is a short introduction to Excel's record macro feature. So this tool is really useful if you're doing highly repetitive standardized tasks within Excel. Basically, so you don't have to continue to do them over and over again, because Excel has this really neat feature where you can record your keystrokes and use that going into the future. So to start with, you need to save your Excel file as an XLSM file, which is a macro enabled file. If you save it as an XLSX file, which is the standard format, you won't be able to use macros. So just file, save as XLSM. The next thing you need to have is the developer tab in your ribbon. You need to make sure that that's visible. If it doesn't show up, you should be able to go and click more commands, customize ribbon, and click the developer tab. Okay, so once we have all that done, we're ready to start our first macro. So we just hit this record macro button up here. We'll call it format. We'll activate it with keystrokes Control-Shift-F. We'll store it in this workbook, and for a description of what the macro does is it just formats data for us. Okay, so we are now recording, as you can see here. Excel is recording our keystrokes. So we're going to go ahead and start our macro off here. So if you have an ERP system at work, a lot of times when you try to export data into Excel, it loses its formatting and it might throw it all into a single cell rather than breaking it into multiple. So Excel has a way around that. So we're going to go ahead and create a macro that does that right now. So we'll go ahead and highlight column A. We'll go to data, text to columns. We're looking for delimited separation of data, which means we can go ahead and select the space as the point where we'd like the information to break into multiple columns. Then we can go ahead and finish that, and as you can see, we've broken the information into multiple columns, so it can now be analyzed. So I'd like to add some headers to my data. You never want to click all the way across when you're recording keystrokes, because it's going to mess up your macro. So we just want to insert a little bit of space here, and we'll shift these cells down so that we can add titles. So this will be job, this will be cost, date, resource, and hours. Okay, so we have all that done now. Now I'd like to put a pivot table on this. So we'll actually insert a pivot table, and we'll put it in the same sheet just next to this data here. I'll hit OK, and I'd like to see job with resource and cost, and we'll make that sum of cost rather than count of cost. So this will show us, or management, kind of how much money we're spending on each job, on each resource. And that could be a very standard report that you do all the time. And I think this could be a good stopping point for this macro. So all we do is we hit stop recording. And now this macro should be ready to go, ready to use in the future. So we'll go ahead and delete all this work that we did. And say we went to the system and we downloaded our next batch of job data. So you would just copy it and paste it into our macro file here. We'd hit our keystrokes Control-Shift-F, and as you can see, it just did all of those steps for us. It broke the job out, the cost out, date, etc., and it even built our pivot table for us. So it's just a really useful tool, like I said, when you're doing highly standardized processes, so that it can save you some time and make you more efficient. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks.